Morning.
Hello, people. Can you guys hear me okay?
Hello, sir. Yeah, we can.
Wow, welcome back. What an adventurous 2 weeks. So how you guys doing? Anybody here? Everybody here is in the eastern side of Jamaica? Anybody here in the western side? No?
Can you repeat, sir?
Oh, I was asking, is anyone here currently in the western side of Jamaica? Or are we all in the eastern?
Sir, I don't think they have electricity in the western side at all. Still no
Yeah,
electricity or water or anything like that.
yeah, I can imagine. Wow. So we're you guys that were here were all in the eastern side. Um was anybody did anybody have an experience actually in the storm?
I think some people went home and
Oh,
actually they did experience
wow.
something like, yeah.
Okay, let me ask a general question. Anybody here ever experienced being in a hurricane? Nobody? Go by raise of hands? No? No? I was thinking about it recently, and I was saying to myself that you know, well, not everyone here is from Jamaica, but majority of people here is probably from Jamaica. So the last time, as you know, we got a direct hit was what, in 1988? Which I have a sister that is graduating this year from UTech. She's in Skit. And I was just talking to her and she was like, the as it relates to hurricane, she has always grown up just knowing about near misses. If you think about it, for the last 13 how much years? 30 how much years. We've only learned about near misses. We've never really experienced a direct hit. We probably only watch it on TV, but this time I guess it's a little different, you know? So that's kind of interesting. Which is why, of course, you have a lot of persons that are like, it's not coming, man. It's not going to make... Everybody was there watching the news, waiting for it to make that right turn. For a while there, we thought it wouldn't make the right turn, but it eventually did. Anyways, I was just thinking back, as a matter of fact, and I found some pictures I said I would share when we start back class. Where do I have them? Okay. Right, so can you guys see my screen okay? Daniel? Okay.
Sorry, you said my name?
Oh, you can see my screen okay?
I'm seeing the rotation of the...
Oh, yeah. Right.
Mhm.
So I dug up and found called my dad as well and found some interesting images here. Let me bring up one of them. Check it out. This guy in this picture look familiar to anybody? Anybody?
Sorry, you as a baby?
Ah, exactly. If I show anybody now with my current son, they would probably think that is some effect that I added Photoshop. Anyway, notice the house in the background. That's really what I'm showing you here. So I think this was a couple months before Gilbert in 1988. My dad is into photography, so he like to take pictures. And this was a picture when the storm just started. So you can see those hurricane trees, those coconut trees taking a pounding. Of course, not much picture taking could happen after it just start. We were living in Westmoreland at the time. So how it go again? It went from east to west. So we were the last to get it. And it started from Portland, Kingston up that side, and then just cut Jamaica in half all the way till it reached Westmoreland. So this is when it got to us down in Westmoreland. I barely remember it. I was like 5. This was the house. Check out that car. I think that's an Escort. Anyway, so I think we lost about maybe 80% of the entire roof. You can't really see too tough from here. The eaves were on, but pretty much the surface of it was gone. And of course, all the coconut trees. So that's the same house there that you see in the background here, right in front of the that grill. This was on the roof, and I think my neighbor had his roof. I think my dad went up on the roof and take a picture. There was some huge flooding across the road. So luckily that water never reached all the way to us. By the way, guys, this was taken with a film camera, as you can imagine, right? You know, the film camera, you have to carry it to the store to get it processed and all kind of things. So it's not the highest resolution. That was me there sweeping out the house, all the water that came in the house. Luckily, the water came from the roof and not on the outside, because some persons were just not too lucky. That's my mom there in the background at the time, right? It looks like I was having fun, probably sliding around in the water. But I can bet it was not fun at all. That was the school that I went to, that's Paradise Prep. It was like, well, it wasn't completely destroyed, but all the roofs was totally gone. That's me in the foreground there. And this picture was kind of famous. This was at the airport, Norman Manley, where it took up an entire plane and threw it in the trees. All right. Anybody know what kind of car is this? Anybody? No? No guesses? No guesses, guys? Nope. Well, this is a ladder. This is a ladder, actually. I think this was a company vehicle. Yeah. Talk about back in the day. Anyway, I just found these pictures and figured that I would, just kind of share them. It has been quite a week. And yep, we just have to pick up back the pieces. Anybody here have family on the western side of Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, not pretty at all, right? What I can say though, from the little that I can remember, is that we have much more resilient construction. I was going through, there's no shortage of footage on the internet of all of the destruction. But interestingly, there was this one there. This was a one of those drone pictures that they were taking down at White House. This is on Westmoreland. And if you can notice here, this seems to be a new development. It seems to be under construction. But if you notice, in a sea of no roofs, like anything that is not a slab, gone. But yet still, all the roofs in this development is intact. And you can see that is the same like construction, because it's the same roofing technology. I think it looked like standing seam roof, I think. But I don't know if they were just lucky or it's some kind of interesting construction there. But man, this is actually a screenshot from a video. So I was here watching the video, and in the whole of the video, I'm like, hold on, this place right by the seaside completely has all the roofs. So I thought that was very interesting. It would be nice to kind of investigate how they did their roofing technology, because man, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about the storm. It is already dominating our lives and the news airways already. But just thought I would share that too, my experience with the whole thing. Anyway, so I guess most of you got my message, right? Switching gears back over to our module now. Anybody who here has finished checkpoint 3? Give me a thumbs up if you have. All right, at least 90%. Give me a thumbs up if you have. All right, cool. Couple. All right. 70%? Who here is like at 70% completion? Give me a thumbs up. All right, cool. All right, so majority of persons here seem to be pretty much there. One thing we don't want, guys, we don't want to like delay or postpone or put off this semester. because we don't want you to be here longer than necessary for real, right? Um, it's interesting. I mean, we are no strangers to hurricane. Pretty much almost every year of me being in CSA, there's always a hurricane, but not obviously it never hit it directly. But what I want to say is that we want to try and get back on the horse. Um, what I'm doing is I'm kind of relaxing the due dates, right? Because not everybody probably have access to computer, internet. Not only that, but just the whole stress of the whole thing. I know that it can take a toll. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, at some point, UTech is going to require the lecturers to upload the grades for their class, right? And in order for you guys to be progressed to semester, well, right, to semester 2, so you guys will be doing BIM next semester. So you're going to need to get in all of your grades before that due date comes. Whenever that date is, they're trying to determine when will be the post date for the grades, right? There's been all kind of suggestions, but I think the best type of suggestions is we try to stick within the semester. Because if we put off the semester, that is just going to delay you. It ended up delaying your graduation, which we don't want. So, with that in mind, I want you guys to push to get back on the horse. What I can do also is I can make the due dates flexible. I can maybe reduce some of the class activities, see how we can best do that. But the good news is that we have been pretty much on schedule for since we've started. So remember, our original schedule was to be finished at least a week or two before the 13th week, right? That's our original schedule. So basically, if we take 2 weeks out of it because of the delay with the hurricane, we should be able to come in right on time without it being overly crazy for you guys, right? The big hump for this module is checkpoint 3, right? That's the one that most of you say that you're pretty much 70 or 90% with. After that, it gets pretty easy. So as we go towards the end of the semester, the work actually gets easier because once you have the building modeled, it's just about doing checkpoint 4 and 5, right? Most people are not done with the model, so we're not going to jump into the last checkpoint just yet, right? The last checkpoint is rendering, right? But I want to make sure that everyone here have at least 90% completion of the model. So what I want to focus on is going to be dependent on where you are with your studio, because we do some things here to support you in Design Studio. All right, so a volunteer. Where are you guys now in studio? Have you done your interim? Have you fleshed out your housing project?
No, sir.
Do you have a unit? Have you designed your unit?
We're on that actually. Trying to design units.
Trying to design the units. And is it apartments or townhouses you guys doing?
I think apartments.
Is it apartments? Oh, well, hold on. So we're not getting a brief yet? We get the brief already, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, Sartor one in the class. I don't hear nobody else. Yeah? I'm just kidding. I heard some beeps and talks earlier from 1 and 2 other persons. All right. Okay. So what I wanted to focus on today is um giving you some tips for when you are creating your building, your whether it's apartment or townhouses. Is there anybody here who okay, let me do it this way. Oh no. Is there anybody here who is planning to not use Revit to do their drawing production? Not use Revit. Anybody? Okay. All right.
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet. I know. All right. The confidence level is building. All right. So one of the objectives that that we have here for this module is that we want to try to build your confidence level in using it. By the time you are out of CSA, I want to make sure that everybody here is proficient in a BIM software. That one is going to be Revit, but there are many other BIM softwares out there, but we choose to use Revit. Of course, it's the most popular, right? So what a part of this module is dedicated to giving you some tips of dealing with multifamily projects, right? So in our project that we're doing with the tower, I mean, we are doing a timber structure, but highly likely you guys are not doing a timber structure, which is fine. But there are some other lessons that you can already take from what we did already. For example, stairs, right? That stairs class that we had is going to be super important for you guys because you guys are doing multifamily. So you're going to be having maybe 2 or more levels, right? So all of the conversations that we had about levels, about stairs, about railings, please remember those when you start to do your project. Also, things that we use like the floor tool, the wall tool, the window tool, all of those apply. Now I want to show you a project. Okay, wait, let me show you the video first and then I show you the project. So at least you can kind of see what it is. Okay, hold on a second here. I'm gonna bring up my website here, Brian Williams JM. All right, so this is where I keep my portfolio. I have my portfolio as a website, so I can continuously add stuff to it. So anyway, under ArcViz, I want to show you guys this project. Oh man, it's gonna get probably need this. Come on. Oh wait, here we go. Kingston. Okay. Can you guys hear audio by the way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Kingston Wharves has been connecting communities and markets for almost 70 years.
Here's what we're going to do. Let's not use the website because it's playing all those videos at once, which is kind of crazy. I probably need to look into that setting. I'm looking for the video directly because I have them somewhere in my computer. 1 second, because that's okay. Here we go. All right, found it. All right, here we go. All right, so this was a marketing primarily for marketing that we did some years ago. We did some graphics. Right. So this was yeah, this was in Manor Park. All right. Probably finished construction by now. So we did a little map graphics. We did that in After Effects, I believe. And then we went up and did some drone images. We kind of transition in between the drone images and the rendering. So we did this in Unreal Engine, and we did the model in Revit. Most of those graphics that you see, well, this part is in Unreal, right? And how we did it, we did multiple versions and then overlay them together in Premiere Pro. Most of the text stuff is in Premiere Pro as well, all of the text information. There we go. So this was inside. These are not Revit furniture. We replaced them with custom furniture. It still has that draft video thing there. I remember we had fun putting flames under that kettle. That was kinda a journey to do that. All right. I think, oh, one more. All right. All right, and then there was the bathroom as well. All right, cool. So that was pretty cool. And the thing is, that was fun to work on. I grabbed a version of that file that we worked on. This is the Revit model. I believe the original model was probably, I think it was Revit. I don't remember. It was years ago. But the reason I wanted to show you that is I want to kind of give you what the end product looks like, and then a little bit of some of the processes that we use. And this can definitely directly apply to you guys because you guys are doing a multifamily project. And there are some techniques that we employ here that you guys can use. One of them is going to be groups, right? Anybody here has ever used groups in Revit? Anybody familiar with groups? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Nope. Nope. Nobody? One person? Cool. Cool. Some away. All right, cool. So once you have something that repeats, I would argue more than 2 times, then you should probably turn it into a group in Revit. So right away you can see that these apartments here, they repeat. We can also see that the stair, come on, right? The stair tower does not repeat. It's just one thing, but the stairs inside repeats a couple times. So when I click on this, you can see that this unit here has repeated over here. And the great thing about this is that if I go into the group and I decide to remove this window here, choose OK. Then what you notice, all of the windows in the other groups are also removed as well. Give me, oh, only 1 second.
Sir, your mic is off. It's mute.
Sorry. Right. On the mirror board, there's a class activity that I want us to tackle today. And what it is a version of this building, and it's broken down into different components. Now, the reason we're doing this is that this is a method that I would want you guys to be using when you're doing your multifamily project. It doesn't matter if it's a townhouse or apartment. Once you have something that repeats, you're going to want to put it in a group, right? So I want you guys to head over to the mirror board. When you go over to the mirror board, you just look under the section that says class activities, and you head over there. And there's a link right here to the actual Revit file. It is a Revit 2022 file, so it should open on in your Revit. And I want you guys to follow along. I want you to go access the file and open it up. When you open it up, it should look something like there we go. All right. Right, it should look something like this, where you will see the parapet, the furniture, the interior, and the exterior walls, and the foundation walls. All right, so I give you guys a couple of minutes, so just jump on the mirror board. There we go. Oops. Just jump on the mirror board and use this and do this. And what we're going to do, because you guys are actively working on your units now, so this applies directly to what you're doing in studio, right? Have you guys started to work on your overall building or just the units?
We haven't started anything yet.
Say again, Mario? You haven't started anything yet?
No.
No, sir. We're working on programming right now.
Ah, you're working on programming. Programming. All right. Generally, do you have a question?
Sir, it's not a question, but I was just telling you that I don't have Wi-Fi to open the files. So.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
So will the students who don't have internet as yet, like, I can watch the recording and do that.
Exactly. So yeah, man, we have the flexibility so you can hand it in when you get a chance.
All right, just confirming. Thank you.
All right, but I'm thinking. So you guys are doing programming now. Has anyone started to create their unit yet, or are you just kind of doing a bubble diagram, like where you're positioning things?
Nah, sir. I think we kind of behind on studio. That's kind of why, like, we haven't gotten anywhere with that as yet.
Oh. All right.
We're still analyzing.
Kind of analyzing. All right.
Still site analyzing.
Mm-hmm. All right. That means we're gonna soon step on the gas real quick, right? All right. Let me think about this, because usually we do this activity when you guys already have a unit design, because that way you can actually use your unit design to do this have you met with your studio lecturers yet? Oh no, hold on. This is your first day back, so you're doing that tomorrow. Am I right?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, guess what? We're still going to continue with the activity just the same. I mean, I would just ask that you guys just not forget what we have done here. Because You're definitely going to be using this to do your when you start to stack your units together. As soon as you have your unit done, what I want to show you is a method of how you can set up your Revit file so that when you have to, because you have to put all the units together in order to generate your elevations, perhaps your sections. So I want to be giving you some tips in how you can do that. So right. So let me just continue along our path. So still go ahead and just get this model file from Revit, and it should look something like this. You know, and one thing that I should not be seeing, I should definitely not be seeing you guys, like if you're having 10 units, you're repeating the same thing 10 times. No. Right? You need to be using groups in order to supercharge your workflow, because working in Revit is supposed to make you go much quicker, right? At the end of the day, you need to, you're going to, for your design studio, you probably need to be showing a floor plan, and your elevations, your sections, probably some sort of 3D view. So all of those things we're going to be doing in computing so that you know how to do it for your design studio project, right? So, okay. All right, guys. So have you opened the model? Anybody can
It's opening.
confirm it? It's opening. Okay, cool. Give it some more time. All right. Now, you can also use groups in your major project for computing as well. If you, the main thing to identify is when you see something that repeats, just group it and copy it. That way, you can always just edit one and then both of them edit. All right. Just remember to look for that trend. Okay, so when you have this open, we have a couple parts here, right? Let me put this over here so that it kind of looks like, I think most people have their Revit kind of set up like this, where the properties is at the top. So let me mimic what you have. All right. By the way, guys, just as a point to note, if you are like me, I'm a fan of dark mode because I can be a night owl at times. And you're using Revit 2024, you can always go to view and enable, change your canvas theme, dark mode, and that will kind of save your eyes, right? I was just speaking to somebody recently and they was like, what? I didn't know Revit does this. And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. As a matter of fact, CA is a shortcut. So if I go CA, changes back. CA again, it changes. So just as a point to note, right? For me, usually while I'm working in dark mode like this. You know, while I'm figuring out stuff and I'm modeling. And then when I'm ready to deal with my sheets and lay out the sheets, then I switch to the white mode. But anyway, that was just a side note. All right, so when you open up this file, you will see this is the parapet. So this is going to go on the roof. And then you will see the furniture. Now, the unit we have is pretty straightforward. When you are designing your unit, so let me give you this version here. So this is a unit that is not fully designed yet, but this is what your model will probably look like for your design studio, right? When you're working on it, you will probably be in a plan view like that, and you will be probably, you know, laying out your furniture according to your design and all that stuff, right? Now, as soon as you're done laying out your design, what I suggest is that you start a new file, a new project, and then this project is your production project. So in your production project, meaning this is what you're going to generate your floor plans, elevations, and whatever for. So in this production project, you're gonna model your unit just like how you would normally do, putting in doors, windows, and everything. Then what you're going to do is separate out the things, the major components of your building. So in this case, I have separated it into furniture, interior walls and floor, exterior walls. This is these are my foundation walls, and then this here is my parapet wall. So this is basically the roof, right? Now, when you separate them out like this, you're able to group them. So the first thing I'll do, I will select this here, and I'm gonna go over to modify, and then right here is where you will see group, right? So I'm gonna click group there, and you guys can follow along as well. When you click that, you're gonna get a dialog box that comes up, and I'm gonna call this roof. I'm gonna choose OK. Now, the reason, I have a thing there, roof again. Let's call it roof 2. Now, one thing to note is that I have separated this out to show you. I mean, if you had the model together, it would be kind of hard to select the different parts of the model. So this is why I chose to separate them out. So if you're kind of new to Revit, I would probably do the same thing. This is when you're finished with the unit design. I would separate them out, and then I will create groups and then put the group together, right? Because when the entire model is together, it's going to be much harder for you to like click this, then click that, then click the top of this, then click the sink, click the stove, you know, to click all these individual things and then group it, and then maybe you miss something or whatever. So when you separate them out, you can clearly see where you're putting your group. Remember, this is after you finish your unit design. You want to make sure that it's done, out of the way, and you're just trying to stack them together now, right? Now, the good thing about groups is that you can edit your unit design even when you finish stacking them together. Because let's say that you realize, oh crap, I want to add a new closet or whatever. You can always change the one in the one group, and then all of them will change, which is pretty cool. All right, so I grouped the roof. I'm gonna group this. Oops, not that. I'm gonna choose group. I'm gonna group this as furniture. I'm gonna put a close bracket there. The reason I'm doing this is because I have some other groups in this project. I don't want it to get confused. I'm gonna put this in a square bracket. You can't put in this. You are. Right, you can't use square brackets. Oh well. Can I use underscore? Yes, good. All right, good. So I'm going to select this one here now. And I'm going to group that underscore interior walls. And I'm going to select this guy here. Why do I keep pressing button? I didn't mean to press that. I meant to press group. And I'm going to go underscore exterior walls. Select this guy here. And I'm going to group this one as underscore foundation walls. All right, now once I do that, if I let me just take my project browser and put it up here so that you guys can see it clearly. All right, I'll drop this over here. Okay, you don't want to go over there, that's fine. Anyway, the reason I'm showing you this is if I scroll all the way down in my project browser, you see you have families and groups. If I expand this, expand model, you will see where I have those groups. Now I have some other groups in here, that's why, but these are the groups that I created: exterior walls, foundation, interior walls, and so forth, right? Now I don't need, if you're using this project, you're going to be seeing these other groups too. So I can't mass delete them. Can I delete that? No, I only can delete them one at a time. Anyway, just ignore them for now. These are the groups that I created up here. Now, here's the awesome thing with groups. Come on. All right. This is where you go to control the groups that you have created, right? So for example, if I wanted to rename this group, I could just go to here and right click and rename. I can also rename it in edit type as well. So for example, I can go to edit type here, a dialog box, and I can rename it here as well. It will also rename. Good. All right, now once I have that done, the next thing I want to do is I want to put my groups together. So I am going to use the floor plan. Let me go to my ground floor. And I'm going to start to put my groups together. Okay, so I'm going to use my move tool here. Now, what I can do to make sure that this is good, I'm going to use my align tool and select this wall here and align. So notice it just comes right in there like that. Hold on, this should actually be down somewhere. So I'm going to use my align tool and align that like so. And these are correct. So that means that this guy here needs to extend a little bit more. So what I'm doing here is I'm double clicking the group. Now you can know when you're not inside a group, everything is white. So if I click on this, you'll see that I've gone into my exterior walls group. And if I click on this, you can see that I'm gone into my interior walls. Once I double click this, then everything else becomes gray, and then I can edit this group. So what I want to use my align tool and send that there and choose OK. All right. Now groups are very finicky in Revit. So when I say finicky, I mean if you try to modify something out and you're not inside a group, you have to be wary of that. So what do I mean by that? Okay, let's say for example, this is a group here, and instead of going into the group, I use the tab tool and click on this door. Now when I use the tab tool and click on this door, you will see this little icon here. This icon means that it's in a group. Now if I try to edit this door, sometimes I can edit it. So let's say I want to swap it out for a different size door like this. It will change even though I didn't go into the group. Now, of course, I could double click the group and this means I'm in the group, and then I can edit this door just the same. Once I finish editing, then I just choose the finish option like that, and then I'm done. So you can select objects even without going in the group, but you have to be cautious about that, and I will show you why as we go further. The best practice is to really go in the group when you want to edit it. All right, we're gonna add the furniture now. So I'm gonna just drag it over, and I'm just gonna align the kitchen counter. Align here to here. Do that again. Align here to there. There we go. And that is all the furniture. So notice that I put all the furniture in a group as well. And this is because, remember, you're going to duplicate this unit multiple times. So you don't want to be having to edit one group at a time. All right, so now for the other two groups. Now, let me go to 3D view here. Now, this group here only applies to the ground floor. Because remember, I'm going to be duplicating this unit a couple of times, right? And this group here only applies to the upper floor. So I don't need to be placing these two guys just yet. Maybe let me put my unit in the position first. Now, there are a couple of options you can do here now. You can select all of this and then group this now into another group. So this means you now have a group in a group. So I can go to the group icon here, and I'm going to call this underscore typical net. Now I've created a group of this. So I can double click in this, and then I'm now in a group that has other groups, and I can double click in this, and it's going to ask me, do you wish to finish editing the current group and start editing the nested group? Yes. So what that means is that you can kind of see that this group is highlighted here, and now I'm outside of this group. All right. All right. Now, as I said, Revit gets a little funny when you have multiple groups. So you need to treat them very cautiously. Hopefully I will get some of those errors and you can kind of see what I mean. All right, so this is a group. Now, what I usually recommend is to keep your demo group on the outside, right? In case you need to edit, right? You just edit your demo group. So let me show you what I mean. Let's go to my ground floor here. So this is my group that I have here, and it needs to be over here. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to move it. I'm going to copy it. Oops. Press enter. CO for copy. I'm going to copy it over here. All right. So, so we need to put it. Let's see. This is the entrance to the apartment. I need to try and remember how it's turned. Oh, I think this is flipped the other way. Right. Back here. I don't need this project. Close this project. Here. Good. All right. So this is it already organized already. So I'm just trying to remind myself, okay. All right, so the entrance is towards here. Okay, good. Let's go back to my ground floor. Right. So yeah, actually it is like this here. Let's see. Now, right. Now, what you can do is use your grid lines. Make sure when you draw and you have your grid lines. Remember, we use that in the major project to help with getting with referencing where things should go. So let me use my align tool and align this like that, and then align this like that. I think that is how it should be. Yes, that is how it should be. There we go. So if I look in 3D view now, there is my first unit there, and it's in position. Hold on. Actually, this should be over here, so I'm gonna use my align tool and just align those two together like that. There we go. Right. So you just flow into the ground floor. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Are you following so far?
Yes, sir. Can you go back to the plan?
Right. So this is my plan view. Right. So I go between plan and 3D. So notice the stairs fits in this little section here, right up to this point. But the plan might not show you everything you need to know. So you have to now go between the plan and the 3D. Let me dock this down here so we can have more space. Additionally, you can remember you can always dock your 3D view over here. So that way you're seeing what's happening in 3D and you're seeing the 2D. Now, what I would suggest is that you definitely have a grid line that represents your center line. Even if it's not your a part of your original grid, you just want to have it there, but you need something to kind of reference your center point. Because you're going to be duplicating a lot of things based on that point. So in this case, I'm just going to move this grid line, put it here, and this will be my center point. I like to actually highlight my center point by making it, stand out more. So I would do something like that. I don't even think that's the center point. Hold on. Okay, let me use that detail line. So I'm gonna go
sir.
to.
Sir, you had done something where I'm trying to align it with the stairs, but
Right.
only the exterior walls moving.
Right. Well, I had grouped the unit,
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So after I put the unit together, I grouped it, and I left a copy on the outside. So after I group everything together, that's how I move it here. All right. So I'm gonna put this at the center line here. So I'm gonna grab this, and here's the center point there. So this is the center of my project, which goes through the center of this wall. So this is what you call a common wall, right? So what you're going to find out happen is we're going to mirror this now. So if I click on this unit and I bring up, these are the two mirror. I'm going to use this one where I draw the mirror line, and I'm just going to draw a line on that center line. And there you go. By the way, if you mirror and it's not copied, then when you choose mirror, make sure that you choose this copy option right here. Right. Anyway, all right. So when I do that, then it's mirrored on the other side. Now notice what happens. When you mirror, this wall here is going to be overlap. And this is going to be your choice. I mean, in some cases, it doesn't matter that much because you're not seeing this wall. But if you mirrored something in a way that you are seeing the mirrored wall, you're going to get what's called Z-fighting. I'll show you what that looks like. Where is it? It's here. So it will sometimes have a weird graphical representation. So like when you render this wall, like if you carried it in another program, Twinmotion, you can see that here, guys. So this is what's called Z-fighting, because you have two polygons on the same axis, on the same planar surface. So this usually causes visual errors depending on whichever program you're using, right? Now, if you can see it, that's an issue. In Revit though, you should always strive to have a neat model, meaning you should strive to never have this kind of thing here, because what's going to happen is going to generate an error in Revit saying that, hey, you have two walls over each other, right? Now, there's a way that you can do that. You can get rid of it. And let me see if I can give you an example here. So let's say this is my group here. Okay, I'm going to copy this again to show you this example. So let's say I have a group here. Now, if I go into this group, double click, and I click on this wall, or I go into the external wall group, yes, and I delete this wall, tell me what's going to happen. Gavin, are you here, Gavin?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going to happen when I delete this wall?
It should delete the wall from all of the other ones.
That's correct. So if I choose OK, then look, everything is deleted. Even in here, it's deleted. Now this might solve the problem of the wall meeting again the surface, but let's say that you wanted to print this unit. Let's say that you wanted to have a view like on the ground floor here, where you just show the unit by itself. So let's say you wanted to use this and print this to pin up on your sheet. This would be a problem because you don't have a wall here in this group. I mean, you could draw back a wall there that's not in the group. So that's one solution. But I would say the best practice for this case is to use an option called what's it called again? Like hide for group or something like that. So to do that, when you double click here, so now I'm in the unit group. Or I don't even think I have to go in the unit group. If I tab into this wall only, right? Remember, I haven't double clicked it. I just use the tab button. I tab into it. And then I choose this option, exclude in group. Can I do that? Yes, good. Notice that it's gone, but it's not really gone. It's only gone for this group, but it's not gone for this group. So what this means is that the wall is still there, but just for this group, it is hidden. It is excluded.
Sir, can that again? Oh yeah, hit it.
So you have to tab into it. So for example, let's do it. Let's say I want the couch to go away, but just for this group. I don't want to delete the couch because let's say I want it in all the other groups, but just for this group, I don't want it here. I use the tab key and I tab till I can select the couch. And then you get this icon that's here. That's this icon here. Or if officially it's in your modify tab, can you get the modify tab? No, you can't get it to, well, not exactly here. So you can't get it to the modify tab here, but here, if you look, when you tab into it, then you get this remove from group icon. And when I click that, just click outside the group, it now is gone, but it's still there. Notice that when you hover over the group, you see the shadow of it. So I can hover back Can I get back the shadow? Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Can I get it back? Right. And then I can uncheck it. And now it's back. All right. Now, another way you can do this is you can go into the actual group. So I can go into the furniture group. And I can click on the furniture. And should be... where is that little thing? It's on another screen. Okay. No, actually it's this. Oh, right. No, remove the element from the group. Where is exclude from group? Okay, there's a little icon that you can also press to exclude from group. I don't quite remember where it is. But anyway, that's the long way to do it. The way that I normally do it is I just click this little thing here and it excludes from the group. Anyway, so that is how you would solve this issue. Now, in this case, I mean, you're not seeing it, but if you wanted to make it neat, like suppose you rendered a view, an interior view, and you're looking on this wall in Twinmotion or D5 or some other program, this wall would show up as an error. It would look weird because you have two surfaces on each other. So you'd have to go back into Revit and then you highlight this wall and just say hide in group, and voila, that is now solved. And the good thing is that if you copy this again now, so let's say I copy this, it's still hidden. You get me? So that's great. All right, so now I have this done. Now what I want to do is I want to put on the foundation walls. Now notice that when I'm modeling my unit, I don't include the walls that go down to the ground. So right now, if you look at my side view here, it's almost like this unit is floating, right? Because I don't include the walls that go down to the foundation. And the reason for that is that my intention is to duplicate these units going up. So obviously, if I attach the foundation walls to this group, it's not going to work out, right? So I'm going to put my foundation walls on now. So what I do, I'm just going to use the align tool. I'm going to do it in 3D view. I think it's better in 3D. Make this a little smaller. So I'm going to do AL to align, and I'm going to hover here and just choose this align like that. And wait, it does madness. Why? Because it's on the same level, right? So what I want to do now, this is where things get tricky with groups. When you're moving it between levels, right? Now, there are two ways you can do this. There is the quick and dirty way that can cause problems, and then there's the proper way that usually doesn't cause problems. The quick and dirty way is that you can just click on this group, and actually maybe not quick and dirty, but maybe quick, but can be dirty. I can click on the group and then change it to I can put it on a different level, like top of footing, and then the whole group goes down. Actually, I think that's the best way to do it. So yeah, scratch that. It's not necessarily quick and dirty. It's perhaps I would do it this way. Right, because you can just change the level of the group here. Now here is why this works out for me. This works out for me because I have a level called foundation. Here I have it here, top of foundation. TO means top of. Now, if you're drawing, you did not have a level for the foundation to go on, then there would be no way to move those foundation walls down, right? So when you're doing your project, you need to ensure that you have a level that can accept a group, right? If you don't have a level, then that can cause problem, because you want to attach your group to a level rather than try and say, okay, just make this group be 5 foot below the ground. That's a bad idea. It's better you create a level below the ground and then say, attach this group to this level. All right? You following, Marvel? You understand that concept?
Ish.
Right. Now, let's imagine that I didn't have a level here. How would I do a new level? All right. Well, what I would have to do is I would have to go to my, put this back in the middle. I would have to go to a section view. So in this project, let's say I don't have a section, right? I don't have a section. I don't have an elevation. All I have is plans. Then what I would need to do, I would need to go to architecture. No, I would need to go to view. And then I would click on section, or I could click on elevation. Doesn't matter. I need a way to see the drawing flat, right? Usually I would go with section, and I would just draw a section from here to here. Now, once you draw a section, it will create a section view. That's what you can see here. It automatically creates this section 1 that I see here. So I'm going to open that. And now you will see I have the section there. Now, okay. Now the reason why it looks like that is because I drew the section over the unit, not where I have the building. So let me put it over here. Let me extend the section. Notice where you see these arrows here. This is the extent of the how far I will see in the section and how far back I will see. Like that. So I'm adjusting that now. So I want to see everything inside of here. All right. So now if I go back to my section view, this is what it shows me. So what I would do now is that if I didn't have a level below the ground, I would just now go to architecture and say create new level. And I would just draw a level. I need to draw it here. All right. I would just draw a new level. So that is how I get a new level. Now, you know, you guys already know how to draw levels because we did that in our major project. But the reason I'm showing this is to reiterate the fact that if you need your group to go to a different level, make sure you create that level first, and then you move your group to the level. So what I've done here, I've moved this group to the level called top of footing. And if I just drag this over here, you can see that it's top of footing is the level that this should be on. So all I need to do now is to align here and align this wall. There you go. All right. So notice now I have my walls going on the ground. Now a good measuring stick that you can use whenever you're putting your building together is I love to use section box. So to do that, make sure that you have nothing selected, and in your properties section you can click section box here. And what this does, it does what it says. It cuts a section in the box. So I can drag this over here and see I can see what my building look like when it's cut. And you can see there are my foundation walls going down. And I mean, we're not going to get into like the technicalities of foundation, but from a visual standpoint, I just need, you know, to not be looking under my building. In reality, when you're building a building, the walls go below the ground, goes into the ground. So that's what I want to represent here. All right, so if I don't want the section box, then all I need to do now is I need to go back over here and just say that I don't want the section box anymore. And that's it. It goes back to showing me everything. All right, so now obviously I want to get my foundation walls over here. So notice that I'm doing this in 3D, right? So actually, wait, should I do it in 3D? Yes, because guess what? I don't have a floor plan for my foundation. So there is no view for me to click on to see just the foundation walls. Actually, there is. Yeah, I have a top of footing level. Yeah, the top of footing level does show it. You know, but in case, let's do this a different way, right? If I needed to mirror this over here in my 3D view, what I can do is I need to check to see where my work plane is. So if I go to show, I don't know where it is. So what I need to do is go set my work plane, and I want to set my work plane to be my ground floor. So now you can see this big blue line here. This represents my ground plane. So now when I click on the foundation wall and I click modify and mirror, I have to draw the mirror line, and the mirror line is going to be drawn on the work plane. So I'm just going to choose an arbitrary spot and just draw a mirror line. Which, come on, mirror. Just draw a mirror line. There we go. So I'm just drawing a mirror line this way. Cool. Let me do that again. Yeah. Mirror. I'm going to draw it over here. There we go. Now, even though I drew it all the way over here, it's fine. I can just snap it back into place using the align tool. I can just go align AL.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
couldn't you just mirror it from the section?
I could mirror it from the section as well. So, but I'm just demonstrating how you would mirror it in 3D, right?
Okay.
Right. You can mirror it from the plan, you can mirror it from the section, or you can mirror it from 3D. If you're mirroring stuff in 3D, you have to set up your work plane first. That's why I'm showing you this way, because there are some things that you're going to be doing where you're not going to have a section view or a plan view that show it. You're going to have to do it in a 3D view. And before you just click mirror in a 3D view, you have to set up your work plane so that you know how it will be mirrored. You know what I mean? So yeah, so my job here is to show you all the ways, and then you pick the best way, right? So I'm going to align the back wall now, like that. So there you go. This is now aligned. All right, so now all I have to do is copy these floors up. And to do that, I would probably use my section view. So let me bring this back out, like that. So it's my 3D view there. If this blue is annoying, you can always just turn off work plane so you don't see it. All right, so from my section view, I can select these floors. Now, here's the thing. You can use the copy tool, right? So I could go CO. Actually, you can't, because the work plane is flat. So you can only copy it side to side. So if I try to copy this CO, I can always copy it, but it's gonna copy flat. It can't copy up. Same thing here. If I'm here and I go to CO, it's only copying left to right. So when you want to put a group on a new level, right? When you want to copy it to a new level, it's a little different. In the case of my foundation walls, I didn't want to copy it to a level. I moved it to the level. Obviously, if I click on my floors here and I move it to first floor, then it's going to move up. But in this, I don't want it to move up. I want it to copy up. But you can't use the CO copy command. So what you have to do is, you can even do this in 3D view. You don't have to do it in section. Doesn't matter which view you do it from. So I'm going to select my units here, and then I'm going to go to copy to clipboard, which is different from CO copy. All right. So under modify, I'm going to go to copy to clipboard. And then here's the trick, guys. You're going to go to the down arrow, and you're going to go to paste align to selected level. Right? So I'm going to pick that, and then it's going to bring up a dialog box for me to select what level do I want to paste this on. So I'm going to say I want to paste this on the first floor. Voila. And I guess you can guess what happens next, right, guys? And do the same thing. Paste, align to selected level. Anyway, let me show you a different way that you can paste, right? So remember, I'm going to show you all the ways and then you pick which one is better. Another way you could do this is, and I'm going to show you in both views here. I could select my floors here and I could choose copy. Then I could go to my second floor in plan, right? So this is my second floor. So what I'm seeing in the background here is the level below. And then I can now go to modify and I can go place, align to current view. And yep, it pasted it aligned to the current view that I'm in. So that's another way that you can paste, right? Let me do it again. So I'm going to do one more time. I'm going to do to copy. And but this way is not, I would say, is not recommended. Because things can get a little funky in groups. I would say my favorite way of doing it is doing it the more mathematical way, where I can go to copy and I can go to paste, align to selected levels. There's another way you can do it as well. You can go to paste, align to pick level, and if I choose that, then all I have to do is to pick actually which level I want it to align to. So in 3D view, I can actually pick the level. So I'm going to pick that level. And voila, it copies as well. So those are a couple of ways that you can do this. Now, I'm not sure how much stories your building is going to be, but usually your top floor always has a higher level. Sometimes you have a penthouse level up there because you're not sandwiched between units. Now that can be a little tricky because if I choose to rise up the height of the wall, it's going to rise up the height of all of these walls. So there are a couple ways you can tackle that. There's an advanced way and a basic way. I'm going to tell you guys the basic way. The basic way is to do what I did here. Just draw the upper part of your roof and your slab as a different element altogether, different group. And then you just put it on top like a crown, right? So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to move this to roof deck. And then I'm going to align it. I'm going to align this wall to here. There you go. Now you might notice that you're in Revit. You see this is what is called Z fighting. You can kind of see it's happening here because the walls below are on the same level as the slab. Now you can raise the slab up if you want. That's one way you can solve it. I would argue that the proper way to solve it is by attaching your wall to the slab above. So for example, if I go into this group, actually you can't really see it here. How about I do I'll do a section view. Oh, by the way, guys, let me show you this awesome trick, right? So check this out. Let's say that I only want to see this unit here, right? All right, let me give you a better example. Let me go to my third floor in plan. Let's say that I click on this group and I only want to see this group. I don't want to see anything else in 3D. Then if you look for this little icon right here, so go to modify, and if you look right here, there's this little icon here that basically is isolate in an object in 3D, and I click that. Then what happens is that Revit automatically creates a section box for you and isolate the element that you pick here. It's pretty cool because I can just click on this bed and I can do the same thing. Bam. And it literally cuts everything away except the area with the bed. And I can go in the 3D view and I can expand that view, you know. I can expand it and only show this, which is pretty cool. So sometimes you have an object and you're trying to figure out what's happening in this corner here. You can't really see it from the plan, you know, and all of that. You can always use this feature. So you just click and just click this option here. So that is pretty cool. All right, so I wanted to show you this thing where, right, so this is my unit here. And let's say that you can see where my walls, let me make this a little bigger. You can see where my walls is touching the roof of, it's touching the slab. Actually, it's a little higher than the slab, because in my case, I think I'd made the slab a little higher, but let me do it. That's not what's going to happen to you. What's going to happen to you is that when you're doing your studio project, chances are you're going to get something like this, where all your walls are going to the surface of the slab, right? And if you're like me and you build efficiently, you have all of these duplicated. So obviously, if you make this wall taller, it's going to make all these walls taller, which is bad. So what you can do in this case is, I'm going to show you. So for example, let's say this wall right here. I'm going to double click and go into this group. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to go into the group. You can just tab into it. And what I can say is attach to top and just click that. Bam. I can do the same thing here. Come on. So let me show you with this wall. Oops. So you don't need to go in the group. I can just tab into this wall here and I can say attach to top and then click that. Then notice it automatically gets clipped to the top. Now this might be a little annoying to do because obviously it's hard for me to see the walls in order to do it. So the way that I recommend to do this is I would go into this group, into the internal walls group. And what I would do is I would select everything in this group. Just draw a box around it. And then I would use my filter. And then what I would do in my filter is I would say, all right, I don't want you to select any doors. I only want to select my walls, and I'm going to choose OK. So now I have just the walls selected, and then I just choose attach to the slab, and I choose OK. And voila. And guess what, guys? This only happens for this group. This group is the same. It's not attached to above, but only this group it gets attached to here. So of course what that means is that this group over here, it's not doing the same thing. So let me mirror this. So I'm going to mirror this guy here. Mirror. And I'm going to align. Actually, let me drag this over some more. As you know, if I drag this, notice that once I go beyond where the box, the section box is, it's just going to clip it. Anyway, so I'm actually doing this in 3D, which some of you might prefer to do this in plan. Totally up to you. There you go. Now, same thing again. Notice that these walls, they are showing on the roof slab here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just go into the group, go into the internal walls group, select all the walls, select everything, then filter and say, I only want to select the walls and choose OK, and then attach. All right, guys, what do you think? Are you following the idea?
No, sir.
All right, which idea you're not following? The attach walls idea?
Yes, sir.
All right, a quick way to show you that is, let's go over here to my solar unit here. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go over here and I'm just going to draw a bunch of walls like that. So how this works is I could draw a slab. So I'm going to draw a floor slab now. Let's say I draw a floor slab like this. Choose OK. So that's my floor slab. Now my floor slab is on the ground, but what if my floor slab was on my second floor? So my floor slab is all the way up here. Now, if I wanted these walls to touch this slab, yes, I can just drag it until it touches the slab. I could do it that way. All right, you follow? You understand that way? I could just drag it.
Yes, sir.
Or I could select these walls and say, all right, I want the top constraint of these walls to reach to the second floor. And that could also happen, right? Same difference. Another way I could do this is I could say, okay, I want these walls to attach to the base of whatever I click on. So I click this and I click that and it attached. But this way, the magic with this way is that it attaches to the bottom. And if I move this, so let's say I decide that I want this slab to no longer be on the second floor, I want it to be on the third floor. Notice what happens? Tell me what happens.
The wall adjusts to match the height. Or
exactly. So when you use the attach to top or base, that is what happens. Now, if I move this wall this way, choose OK. Why you notice how, oh crap. Why you think it's giving me this error?
Because the slab doesn't cover, I guess, all of the wall.
Exactly. And it's telling me that this wall is not going to be attached to anything anymore because it's not there. So if I say yes, right. So that is how the attach feature works. So what I was saying is that on the top floor, because you had the Z fighting, which is this, anytime you have walls that are going through your slab, use the attach feature and then it will just make it attached to the underside of the slab, right? But the attach tool even goes even further, because if I decided that I wanted a roof, for example, so let's say I wanted a roof and I'm going to just draw a roof like that. Just draw a roof like that, and I'm going to make it a, is this a roof? All right, yeah. I'm going to make this slope 20 degrees. I don't think we did roofs. No, you would have done it in second year, right?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Right. So
I have a question for you, continue.
Okay, go ahead.
So how you get the two windows at once, like to show at one time? So you have the 3D and the plan view.
All right. All you do if
Showing
you're
simultaneously.
using hold on, need to do this again. If you're using Revit 2020, I think it's 22 and up, or 23 and 22 and up, I think, or 23. You just drag it out. So if I drag this window using the tab, now it's floating and I can put it on another screen. Or if I drag it to the right corner, you will see a little blue highlight comes, and I just let it go and it can be there.
No problem.
Right. So, all right. I was showing you the attach tool also works with roofs, right? So if I should draw a roof like this and that, and these guys here, these guys, I would say I would make it slope 20 degrees. Apply. Oh, okay. Yeah. So let's say this is my roof. I will put the roof on my first floor. I could use the attach feature as well. I could just say attach to the roof. And voila, it's attached to the roof. I could just select all of these walls and say attach to the roof. And if you decide that you no longer want it to be attached to the roof, then you would click the wall and choose detach and choose it again, and then it's gone. All right, so that's just a quick tip. Using the attach tool is pretty cool, and you can use it in groups as well. All right. One thing to look out for in groups is there is I wouldn't call it a flaw, but there's something that you have to try and avoid at all costs. How can I replicate this? Okay, right. Okay, let's say that I had these two models here, right? And these two are grouped. But let's say that I wanted to put a window into this wall here. Let me spin this around and make this a little bigger. Right. Suppose I wanted to put a window in this wall. Well, I would have to go into the group, go into external wall, and then I would grab a window and I would just plop it there. And then when I plop it there, Abigail, what will happen when I choose OK? Abigail? Is Abigail here? She's coming? She's coming? No? No? Tariq. Is Tariq here? Here's Tariq. Tariq not here? What about Joel? Are you here, Joel?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what would happen when I click OK with this window here in this group?
Not sure.
Let me throw the question out to anybody. Who can answer me?
So you get add all the other copies.
All the other groups, right. So if I choose OK here, then I would get a window here. Now, right, which, you know why I'm getting this error? Because in some of the groups, remember, I had removed that wall. So maybe this is a bad example. Right, so if I put the window here, for example, right, then Revit is so smart, right? Because if you remember, there was a group I had where I hide this wall in that group. So Revit is saying, hey, some of the groups, you don't have that wall. Anyway, and it would copy to all the groups. All right, let me undo that. But what if I'm feeling, I guess, lazy and I don't want to go into the group to put a window? If I just go to window tool and I just drop a window in this group, bam, then it would seem to work, but this is not, what's the word? This is not good. The reason that it's not good is because you have put a window in a wall that belongs to a group. So that will come back and bite you in the butt later when you try to do other things with the group, and it's going to be saying, hey, something not right with this group here. So let me see. If I copy this, it will work. If I copy this, so it's like you have multiple groups, but then you have some group with a window, and sometimes you won't even remember. You will be like, okay, how comes this window is not in this group? And the reason for that is because you added it to the group. You added it to a wall that belongs to a group. So that is one thing that you need to avoid doing. Also, I'm trying to think of some do's and don'ts with groups. Okay. All right. If I put a opening. Let me see if this one gives me that. All right, so check this out. Let's say I have a wall here like that, and I use the opening tool, which is this tool here, and I draw an opening in this wall. Oops, draw opening. Come on. Right, I draw opening in this wall. So that is using the opening, the wall opening tool. Now, if I did the same thing as the window, right? So let's say that I don't go in the group, but instead I wanted to put an opening, and I just drop it on the wall without going into the group. So that means that this one has a wall. Now, this message is a notorious message with groups. What this message is saying is that there's an object in a group that is being changed from outside the group. And the only way you can get this to work is if you ungroup. You get me? So, and the reason why you're doing that is because you're trying to add something to a group without going inside the group to edit it. So that's why I'm saying you need to avoid doing that. When you're working with groups, go into the group before you make any changes. So if you wanted to add a new piece of furniture, let's say you wanted to add a television or something, don't just add it here. Go into the furniture group and add it. All right, guys? All right, I think that is all I want to say about groups. The rabbit hole goes much deeper, but I don't know how far I should go, because you know enough to be dangerous in order to produce your project, right? I would say that if any of you having trouble with groups whenever you draw your unit, when you come to class, remember, we're dedicating the lecture classes to help to solve issues with your final project. And a lot of issues can happen as a result of groups. So I would say that any other discussion about groups, just talk to me when we go into the lecture sessions, right? All right, guys?
Okay, sir.
So I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, man. Well, I was going to ask if when you attach the wall in one group, if you're going to attach to the other, but I realize it doesn't. So
right, it's unique to that group, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys. Let me tell you. What I can say, guys, is that Revit is like a super weapon, and by the time you finish school, you will know where the buttons are, but you won't necessarily know how to draw just yet, right? Because I'm telling you, because when you start to actually do like construction drawings and stuff, you know that's a whole nother level. But the important thing is that you need to know where the buttons are, right? Because when you go out there and you start to do like some proper construction drawings, for example, you will know what a wall section should look like in the end, but you will have to know where the buttons are to get to that end. You'll have to know where the section tool is and how do I attach this thing and how do I group this thing and all of that stuff. So the idea is that you master where the buttons are while you're in school, because when you're out there in the work world, there's no time to figure out where the buttons are. All right. So that is going to be it for me talking today. The rest of the class time, you guys are going to use to actually do this activity. Or better yet, work on your checkpoint 3, please, because ideally this class we would have gone to the next checkpoint, but in order to do the next checkpoint, you need to have your building ready, right? Or you at least need to have 90% of your building ready, right?
Sir, we'll
So
have to use Twinmotion, or if we have D5, we can use it.
I would say that for the rendering part,
Because I can download it if it's a case where it's easier
because
to demonstrate.
Twinmotion, right? Twinmotion is free, so you can download and use it. I mean, I would say next semester is going to be what? You're going to be in third year, second semester. Okay. When you reach the fourth year, that's when you start to choose your own programs. In third year, I need to know that you know how to render. And in all fairness, it needs to be a level playing ground. So for the rendering, I would say yes, you need to use Twinmotion. But going forward, you're pretty much going to have choice of whatever programs you want to use. But for this part, you have to use Revit and you have to use Twinmotion. The lessons that we're going to learn does apply beyond Twinmotion. So, for the next class, we are going to learn, well, we're going to learn a little bit about interior design, in particularly with kitchens. One sec. Stay. Right. So we're going to learn how to do interior design. Now, the thing is, here's what I want, guys. I need, for when we are doing interior design, you guys are working on your units, because that's the best. I'm trying to be in sync with your design studio, right? So I would hope I will check in with you. I'll probably who can I check in with? Maybe Sarto, right? I'll probably message you or something to ask, hey, how far are you with Design Studio, so that I can kind of mirror what we do in computing with Design Studio. Because if, by the way, guys, there's a bunch of resources that I have placed in, where is it? Where did I put it? Tips? Right. So if you look under, I should put them under tips. Yeah, I'm gonna move them under tips. Let me do that. Over here. I'm telling you, this is like a treasure trove of information, guys, that you can really use when you are designing your interior. If you look here, it's particularly about kitchens, because that's where we're going to be focused on in our module. But come on, let me clear this up. 3DM. Where did you go? Close that. Again. There we go. This is a treasure trove of just best practices, things that you should do, you shouldn't do whenever doing a kitchen. And I'm going to be working alongside you to show you how to use Revit to create your kitchen. Now, you are going to submit to me your kitchen that you do in Design Studio in computing class. You're going to submit that to me as a rendering, right? But in order for me to do this lesson with you, I would need you to be like actually working on your unit. You know what I mean? So this is some great information about islands and kitchens and typical dimensions and typical sizes and typical layouts of kitchens, the names of different things. how you store stuff. It's like it's really good information, guys. And I've put this together here so that you can use. Hopefully, it can help you in your housing project. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna build a kitchen together, meaning you already have your kitchen, but I'm gonna be building one, and you basically would follow what I do, but in your kitchen, right? I'll just do it in my demo kitchen, and then we're gonna render it together. So we're gonna learn a little bit about lighting and indirect lighting and rendering and all this stuff, but using a kitchen space. So what you want to do is that I think you want to try to have your unit ready for when we're doing that exercise, so that you can do it with your actual model. But please go on the mirror board and use up this information, guys. This is stuff I use all the time when I'm working on projects. And what I did, I just took some snips of the different relevant pages. It focuses on kitchens, right? So you have no shortage of information. You guys are supposed to have a world-class kitchen in your units. Deal? Right? Somebody confirm. World-class kitchen for your design studio project.
Yes, sir.
All right. As usual,
Yes, sir.
Sarto gave me a virtual handshake on behalf of the class. All right. All right. That information is under tips and guides on our mirror board. All right, guys. So that is going to be it for today. See, class wasn't that long. So I will follow up with you to find out where you are with Design Studio and kind of tailor what I do to that. Please finish your checkpoint 3, because we are definitely going to be moving to checkpoint 4.
Sorry, sir. I have a question. For my design for the cabin, I'm not really doing the stairs on the ground. I'm actually just connecting the where the cabin is placed just straightforward, so people can come directly into the cabin. But I'm not doing any stairs going down. Is that
All right.
okay?
That's fine. You just need to have a stairs that go from one level to the other.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Right. As it relates to entering the building, that it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have a stairs, it's fine.
Yeah. For the building, yeah, I was trying to do normal stairs for the cabin is too small, so I'm gonna go for the spiral stairs just like you, because the other one couldn't fit.
All
cabin is too
right.
small, so-
Yeah. Yes, stairs can be. That's why I'm glad that you're being introduced to stairs, because it can be a real pain. But just play around with it, because you're going to have to use stairs in your design studio project.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying the other kind of stairs because I don't want to have the same design as you. But I don't have the same design as you, but I think I'm just gonna use it.
That's fine.
stairs
That's
in
fine.
this
That's fine.
case.
That's fine.
And,
What I would
other
suggest.
than
Go on.
sorry, yeah.
Oh, I was saying what I would suggest is for your design studio project, if that stairs is giving you trouble, right? Definitely reach out to me. It can be in class or after, depending. But this goes for everybody. There is time allotted for me to help you guys with your Revit model for your design studio. So if this issue happens to anybody else, definitely you don't want to change your design because the steer is giving you a problem. You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
Right, and not just for steers, for anything. You're trying to get stuff done. Curved walls can be a real pain, right? So take your issues into the class. It will be the lecture class. That's where we deal with it, right? Speaking of the lecture classes, I should have presentations 9 and 10 today, the final presentations. Anybody here from that group?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you guys are on for today? No. Which group are you from?
Group 10.
Group 10. Good to go for later?
Yes, sir.
Anybody here from group 9? Group 9? No? No? All right. If you guys can reach out to your classmates for me, please just let them know that today is supposed to be the day for the last presentations, and then we're done with presentations. And then lecture class will be geared towards helping you guys out in Design Studio and just learning more about rendering and that kind of stuff. The lecture class. All right. So as soon as everybody presents, then I will give out the grades for the presentations. All right.
All right. Sarah, last question. Where's the deadline to submit checkpoint 3?
When? Well, that technically that deadline gone already.
Oh boy.
But I am being generous. Technically, it was pre-Melissa, but it's fine. Just get it to me ASAP. I won't be throwing out any marks, any reduction of marks for checkpoint 3 or for the assignment going forward, because everything is kind of, But as I say, guys, don't procrastinate, because when you say, hey, we're posting the grades, if your grade not there, then can't help you. All right. So
I so sir, the issue with my first checkpoints, I think 1 and 2, or the tutorial that you gave us, I didn't get a grade, but I actually did submit my checkpoints and everything.
Oh, you mean for the class?
Yeah, class activity. Yeah.
Class activity. Okay. All right. Cool. I can note here. Okay. Is there anybody else that have a similar issue?
Sir, quick question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Actually, 2 things. 1, what's the best medium to reach you on? Is it WhatsApp or email?
Actually, it's a combination of both, but immediate is more WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Second, I think I changed my entire design because I didn't like the initial one. So I should update you on that, right?
So I mean, but I would have already marked your foundation and all this stuff already for your initial design.
Yeah.
So what happened? It too complicated, or it even track?
It wasn't complicated enough. I would say I didn't like it initially.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. Doesn't matter. As long as so basically for this checkpoint, for checkpoint 3, I'm marking the building as a whole.
Okay.
So you would need to, update everything, your foundation, everything, because I'm marking the building as a whole for checkpoint 3.
All right. And you had taught us some ways to do the walls. My question is, do I have to use a more complicated method, or can I use any of the 3?
No, you have to use the more complicated method.
Okay.
Right, because we're doing timber walls. And the deal is that if you do the more complicated, then the easy is like easy. So for your design studio project, I don't expect you to be doing timber walls. You're probably doing like black and steel and whatever. So you don't need to be doing that complex thing. But there are cases where you need to do a complex wall. So right.
Okay.
Right, cool. As usual, I will post the tutorial and the summary. So in case there's anything you guys miss for this activity, just refer back to the video. All right. I think that's it, guys. So just work on your checkpoint 3 and finish up this class activity and submit it. Everything is on the mirror board.
Sir,
that's it.
is a case where seeing that deadline pass, would it block us from submitting, or we still can submit
Which one?
the checkpoint 3?
No man, you can still submit.
No problem, sir.
Sir, you can
Any
hear
other
me,
question?
right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still not getting full access to Mirrorboard. It's still telling me that I just have viewing privileges.
Oh, right. That's fine. Because that's all you need. So for example, if for this activity that you're submitting, you just need to be able to click the submit button and click the link button to get the model. So you don't need to edit the mirror board any at all.
Okay, thanks.
Sir, I have an issue with part of the last part for checkpoint 3. Should I ask it now or in the lecture session?
No, let me deal with it now. What a technical issue with the model?
I think so, because for my walls, I don't have the option of stacked wall empty. The only option I'm seeing is for empty is curtain wall empty, but even when I select that, there are still glazed glass within the panels, and I can't delete them or edit them.
Oh, you don't have the empty curtain wall. That's the one that we use. So
yes, I'm not seeing that option.
Right.
Sir, I think maybe it's a template, by the way.
Right. Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's a good suggestion. It's a template. So whenever you go to okay, let me close this project. Close this project. Let's close this one. All right. Yeah, this is a new project. So, all right. So I have a new project here, and let me see. When I go to walls, and I go to curtain wall. So you're saying you're not seeing. So let's say you're seeing this, but you're not seeing that empty curtain wall. So
no, sir. I clicked. We use storefront, and then in selecting the type, in edit type, there are a list of options, and you clicked, I think, stacked wall : empty or something like that.
Oh,
I don't have that option.
right. Okay. Well, no worries. So if I draw a storefront wall here, right. Let me look on that in 3D. So that is the curtain wall there. And then, right. So, the main thing you want to do is the glazing that is in. So these are the glass that is in here. You want to get rid of the glass. Now, you can do that manually by like literally clicking each glass and deleting it, but that will be kind of annoying because it's going to come back like if you copy it or whatever, right? Because how curtain walls work is you can tab into it. So I can select just one mullion, or I can select the actual glazing. And when I select any one of these, you get this sticker thing here, that the pin that says it is locked. So if I unlock it, then I'm able to delete it. But that's not how we're going to delete it. Usually we choose a type of curtain wall that is empty. So if I go to edit type here, and you're not seeing one that is empty there, then all you're going to do is modify this type called storefront, and where it says curtain panel, you're saying that you're not seeing empty here either. This is where I chose empty.
Yeah, I only saw curtain wall empty, but that was the one that still had the glass in it. I didn't see system panel. I didn't see system panel empty or anything like that.
Oh, All right, cool. All right. So because this represents the type of panel. All right, so you probably would have to load the panel. So okay, let's see. All right, what I would do is can you load an empty family? Let me see. If I go to my family folder, can I load? Let me see if I can load it. Well, it won't go if I go to components. Let me see if it will load. So if I go to components and I go to load family, you have this dialog box comes up, and I go to where it comes up to where you have all the families. So if I go to the panel, it would be a type of panel. I've never loaded an empty panel before, so let me see what that looks like, so I can help you. Let's see. Let me choose empty here and see what it does. So when you choose empty, it just gives you okay, here we go. There's a type of panel called empty. Got you. Okay. All right. So we would need to load. You in your case, you would have to load this quote unquote empty panel, which let me see. I've never had to load an empty panel before, but let's see. If I look on the curtain panel, empty system panel. Okay. So what you would have to do, right, is it is because of the template. Because the template would load an empty panel, but if for any reason you choose a template that don't have that preloaded, you will need to manually load it into your project. So what does that look like? It should look like, let's say I go to my C drive here, and your Revit files, your Revit, well, it's hidden. I can give you the path, but it's hidden. All of your Revit family, it's in C drive, then it's in a folder called program. Okay, how can I make you go there quicker? I don't want you to have to do a bag of techie things. Oh, I have a good idea. Right, so here's what you can do. You can go to you can go to architecture component, go to load family. The window will pop up, right? And you just hit the back button here, right? So in your case, you probably are in English, right? Not English Imperial, but English. You would right click this and choose open. And then what that will do now, that will open in Windows for you the location of your family folder. So in this case, this is where it is. C, program data, So if you go to Revit, and Revit will carry you there, and then you just choose open, this window will come up. All right, let's see if we can find. So you would go to US, then you would go to curtain panel, this one, and then you would look for empty, right? So you need to load this into your project. So to load this into your project, all you do is double click it. That's it. And it will pop up into your project like this. And then you choose this option here. Any one of these, you load into project and close. So I will load it into my project, and now it's loaded. So now when you go to edit type, you should have the empty here to pick from. All right, I think it's this one. Right. You follow me?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. You can just watch the recording again just in case you missed that. But yeah. So that's all you have to do. You have to load a panel family called empty if it wasn't preloaded in your project. All right. All right. Any more questions? Anybody else having any trouble with their checkpoint tree? Nope. All right. Going once, going twice, and all right. All right. So I will see you guys in a couple hours for the lecture session where we will present group 9 and 10. All right, guys. See you later.
Okay, sir.
All right.